coming up today for Weekly Rock News for the 22nd of October 2013, we have M Shadows and his hypocritical statements, the Frantic Four coming back, Metallica selling riffs, Stephen Psy, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame more bullshit, and Sacred Mother Tongue's sad departure. Hello and welcome to the... And today we are... Go die, bitch. Okay, so M Shadows, the lead singer of Avenged Sevenfold, has said in a recent interview some things which, considering what Hail to the King was like, I found kind of funny. I found Hail to the King, as I said pretty bluntly in my review, I found to be a pretty mediocre, very commercially driven album. It simplified things quite a bit and really lacked a lot of interest. So I find it quite funny that you get, well, I'll let M Shadows tell you himself. There are very few bands that I still listen to that write the same record over and over, one being AC/DC and one being NOFX. And they always do the same and I love them, but most other bands I fall out of love with because they do the same things, but they no longer move me or challenge me. That's what we want to do with our band, to move you in ways you didn't necessarily think you wanted. You have to give people things that frighten them a little bit. Just... oh god, M Shadows, seriously, things that frighten them a little bit? What, is Hail to the King really a frightening album? Oh, come on, get off those drugs, seriously. It's, I mean, saying things that, you know, things that you didn't necessarily think you wanted. Oh, it's like Nickelback saying, oh, Here and Now, now this is something you didn't necessarily think you wanted. Yes, because I didn't necessarily think that I wanted a pop album. I mean, I don't know how much more simplistic and how much more plagiaristic, to be honest, Avenged Sevenfold can get. I mean, from copying Sad But True to Guns N' Roses' Back Off Bitch on Hail to the King. And, I mean, I can see them getting so simplistic that instead of, you know, 3 chords like some bands have, they'll just have one. Just a song with just 1 chord, no variations at all, just like the A major song. I mean, oh, come on. Avenged Sevenfold, they're never going to frighten me. I hope they do, because I genuinely believe them to be very talented musicians at heart. I just wish they'd show it. I just wish they'd show it. Okay, so Lars Ulrich of course, Metallica, saying some more odd things. So, apparently they have more riffs than they know what to do with. And that they have discussed making riffs left unused after each album recording session, available for other bands to pick up via an eBay-style website, which is quite interesting. Now, my first thoughts when reading this were like, you know what, if you have, you know, more riffs than you know what to do with, how about you do something? I mean, this is quite a revolutionary concept for Metallica. But how about you, I don't know, consistently make albums, you know? Not have to wait 5 years for an album, not have to, in the 21st century, in the last 13 years, have only had 2 Metallica studio albums and then 1 collaboration with Lou Reed. I mean, we've had 2 pieces of shit and 1 thing that's actually pretty good. How about you use those riffs and make more Metallica music like people want? I don't want... The thing is, I really don't think this is a great idea. I mean, Tony Iommi and Brian May had been discussing this, and I don't like the idea of this. I like bands to have their own identity. I listen to bands, well, because I like their sound. I don't want, you know, you get enough bloody Metallica clones. You don't need them literally using Metallica's riffs. I mean, I don't think that's a good thing for music. I don't think we need a whole new wave of Metallica clones, really, or a whole new wave of Black Sabbath clones. No, I don't think it's a great idea. I think Metallica should just bloody well utilise them and bloody well record some more music instead of recording dodgy films that no one really gives a damn about. Okay, so the Frantic Four of Status Quo are reuniting for another tour. Francis Rossi, Rick Parfitt, Alan Lancaster and John Coghlan are going to be playing about, let's see, 6
UK dates, and yeah, they're going to be ending on Saturday the 12th of April 2014 in Dublin. Quite interesting. I was having a look at the sets of Crow, because I like Crow. As you may have seen in my Vinyl Collection Part 5 video, I have quite a Crow collection. To be honest, I think the sets, well, certainly for their last reunion tour, was pretty dismal. I mean, we're talking no Caroline, no Rockin' All Over the World. I mean, what? Personally, I think the Crow with just Rossi and Parfit live has way the superior set. I mean, they know to play all the classics. I find it very odd. I mean, this reunion set is very much based around the classic Crow double live album. But I mean, that had Caroline on it. Why not include that? I mean, yeah, I mean, the tickets, if you're wondering, they're about 50 quid, really. So quite expensive. And yeah, I honestly, if I'm going to see Crow, I think I'd just see Wassy Parfit Crow. I don't think all that extra money and less quality of hits, really, for Lancaster and Coghlan, considering Coghlan can barely play the bloody drums anymore. No, I don't think it's worth it, really. This is a weird one. This is a weird one. So, Steven Tyler of Aerosmith has... I don't know if I can say this with a straight face. Recorded a track with South Korean pop star Psy. As in, the guy who did Gangnam Style has now done a collaboration with Steven Tyler, which sounds very funny on paper. Now, apparently, Psy has hailed Freddie Mercury as his life role model and hero, and has named Guns N' Roses, yay, Bon Jovi and Aerosmith as big inspirations, and he genuinely actually seemed pretty excited to record with Steven Tyler. Gangnam Style is a fun song, it is. I mean, there's no denying, you can't deny Gangnam Style was something. It was something. Dance, you know, the whole, it was kind of fun. Was it a good song? No. Did it deserve 1.7 billion views? No. But it was kind of fun. I could see its appeal. The music video was amusing, definitely. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see a more rocked up Psy. I don't know how it work. I have no idea what this is going to sound like. I can't help. I'm going to have to do a track review of this when it comes out, because honestly, it sounds awful, to be honest, but I don't know, it could be fun. Okay, so the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that no one gives a bloody shit about because it's crap has announced more nominations. So, what bands have been nominated? Well, Nirvana, Kiss, The Replacements, yes, Deep Purple, and some other ones, Hall & Oates, Paul Butterfield Band, Peter Gabriel, NWA, Linda Rosenstack, Cat Stevens, The Zombies. So yes, they're going to be voted in. You can make your votes at rollingstone.com. And the thing is, I mean, you know, the top 5, there'll be a fans ballot, but that will count as one of about 600 ballots. So really your vote makes no difference. The problems I have with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you see, it's Nirvana's first year and they're going to be eligible for entry, as their debut single Love Buzz was released in 1988. And it's, yeah, like, I don't know, 25 years is that it's eligible. The thing is, Nirvana are going to get in. I mean, there's just no doubt in my mind that's going to happen. Honestly, do I think they should? Eventually. I think eventually they should, but I don't think yet, no. I bet you Deep Purple won't get in yet again, when without Deep Purple, would you really have Nirvana? I don't know. I don't know if you would. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is all about popularity, and that's what I don't like. It's not about, I think it should be about the bands who've been the most influential, because there's no way of determining bands who've been the best. That's just silly. Music's completely subjective, I believe. But there's definitely bands who've had more influence than others, or bands that have been, yeah, important, really. I bet you Nirvana and Kiss will get in. You know, I like Nirvana, I don't like Kiss, I really don't. I can understand their influence, though. They definitely were an influential band, and I'd say they deserve it. But yes, and Deep Purple, Peter Gabriel, hell, they deserve it at this stage way more than Nirvana, I'd say. I'm not saying Nirvana haven't been influential, I mean hugely, hugely influential.
I mean, there's just no question about it. Nevermind is probably the most important album of the 90s, even if I wouldn't regard it as the best. But I honestly think, it should be sort of more done in order. The older bands, the bands from the 70s who really paved the way for what Nirvana would do, they should be the ones who get inducted first, but it's never going to be like that. And someone that I find hard is NWA, who I think it is. I mean, are we talking about that sort of rap group, with attitude? Or is this someone else? Because if it is who I think it is, since when have they been rock and roll? And LL Cool J? That does not sound like a rock guy to me. I don't know. I don't know who LL Cool J is. But yeah, NWA, that's not good. Nice to see Paul Butterfield though. Nice to see him maybe get a bit more credit. I hope he gets in. Or his band, Paul Butterfield, definitely influential. I'm pretty sure he was the guy who played lead guitar on Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone. I think that was him. Okay, and this one is a very, very interesting topic, I do believe. And this is that the British metal band Sacred Mother Tongue have revealed that their forthcoming co-headlining tour Voodoo 6 will be their last. And the lead singer Darren South says, well, the internet's to blame, which is very, very interesting. They came on the Facebook page basically saying that, quite frankly, they cannot afford to continue anymore. They loved performing their songs live, but each tour just costs them far too much money, and the things like the economic climate and the effects the internet has on the music industry, as well as them not getting enough money from the ticket prices, means that, quite simply, they're not popular enough to continue. And I find that a very sad state of affairs to be happening in music to us. I think they're a very promising band. I got a review copy of their album Out of the Darkness earlier this year, which I reviewed. And quite honestly, really, really good album. Stuff like Demons, Seven, A Light Will Shine, and Evolve Become. Really good songs. They're a bit like the sort of UK equivalent to Alter Bridge, I'd say. They definitely have that sort of Alter Bridgey school of metal to them. Sound quite a bit like Fortress, thinking about it in hindsight now. But yeah, I definitely think they have potential. I thought they were one of those bands, really, that this album shows a lot of potential. It showed that with their next album, they really could be onto something. I mean, I even have, if I can find it, right, so even have a signed picture from the lead guitarist, which one of my subscribers got me, which is very cool. Lead guitarist Andy James. I like the band, and I think in general it's an interesting point of discussion, really. I think especially the things like the internet, is that does piracy really have this much effect on bands that, quite honestly, they can't afford to continue? I mean, even touring, are they not making enough money? It's very interesting, and it's really sad, because I can only see this getting worse. I can't see it getting better. I can't see piracy suddenly going away, and I can't see promoters not taking money from tours, and I'd hate little bands to, well, go away, because they're really where the future of rock music lies. So, very, very sad state of affairs, and I'm considering making a whole video on sort of the effects on the, internet, on the music industry, and really how bands have to deal with, how much money they can make from tours and things like that, and streaming. So I'll cover this in a bit more detail in a separate sort of topic video I'm planning to make soon. Anyway, this has been the Album Man. Hope you enjoyed this slightly reformatted version of Weekly Rock News. Hope you like the intro. Do give me some feedback on that in the comments below. So yeah, this has been the Album Man. Thanks for watching, comment, subscribe, and as usual, long live rock and roll.